All right, so let's go next technique. Let's go with the old shoot and tackle, like so many like to do, and a lot of times that's a lot of people's go-to is that they want to take you down to the ground,
right?
And you know, of course, I don't know. I don't like going down to the ground unless I really have to.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if I go to the ground, that means I've failed on step 1 and 2. So in a basic position, now a lot of times they teach the sprawl position to clinch out. So as a person is coming in for the tackle from here, you know, you want to take the same type of motion where you're going to take that step back, absorb some of the energy to dissipate. But one of the things that I also want to do is I want to keep my body rounded. So I keep intention in my body. A lot of times people will collapse, okay, or they'll try to. But you want to keep structure of the body so that way you keep rounded. So then that way you become bigger and you create room and space. So as this person comes in and they grab from here, I want to keep that space from this position, keeping my body open. Now from here, I'm going to come up with this position here and step back with my left. So again, we go with that energy where we're absorbing and we're redirecting. And then the fun stuff begins. So once they come in from here, we'll go ahead, we're going to take this position, and as he attacks, I step here, this position, and down.
Nice, nice.
So it allows you to, again, feel, but of course everything happens so quickly. But once you get that idea of openness, and this gives you time and energy, because if they are grabbing, and if you're completely collapsed, well, they just pick you up and dump you. But if you can take that step back, and if you can open, one of the things is from here, his squeezing power, if you were to squeeze in, is much harder for him to squeeze in. Now, if I do let him squeeze in, I let him. Because now that compression of energy that he has to exert here, his energy is directed in a different way.
Right.
Right, then his legs are less stable.
Exactly, because all that energy is focused here on the upper body.
I like that. Okay, so same kind of concept, but I'm gonna actually move angularly outward. So one of the things I know, so just come and grab me by the waist here. All right, good. Yeah, do that same thing again. So I angularly move here. Now do me a favor, I want you to try to just record and grab me. No matter what I do, grab me. So when I go here, see how much harder that is for him? Now because I'm a nice guy and I don't maim people, I just shotgun them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have him do the same thing. When I come this way, boom, I'm gonna run him right into the elbow, move out angularly. Because what I know is he's gonna have a harder time. And so there's what I call second effort. So if I go in this way, right, I'm coming in.
Oh, you're coming in.
Come move back. Come forward a little bit. When I go here, and I know I can't get him because he's moved, I'm gonna go in for the second effort. I know that. I know that concept is gonna come. So when I move, I'm gonna, boom, I'm gonna attack, right? Because the second effort is coming, right? I know that. And my hand doesn't have to make a big motion, and when I rotate this way, this arm is already right there, right? So keep your head up this time, I'm just gonna hit you here. When I hit him, it's much easier for me, right? To get away from that. And people are like, wow, that's really risky. I go, well, if you look at it this way, right? When I take him off angle this way, right? Here, lean into it, lean into me. It's harder for him to find stability this way, and then it opens up this one attack. When people are like, well, you're bigger, you may make that work. Yeah, but the reality is if I know how to get away from his hand, if I know how to slide it further out, I go, harder for him, right? Right? While he's doing the second effort is when I'm doing the attack. So, simple.
Right. And being tackled is pretty traumatic. It's pretty hard.
Yeah.
It's just the things that I see a lot is when they tackle, he goes, oh, now I'm down here. Now this is where he wants me to be. Right? So you can be on top and you go bop, 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 bop. Remember, try not to practice that way. Remember, your feet is there. Sometimes you are at a disadvantage. When they get you, right, they go, here, oh, now I'm down here, now I'm working out here. Do not wait for that, right? Like what my brothers just did, you go after them as soon as you get touched, right? But that requires repetition, 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 right? The same thing that you could come back, go ahead, like this, here, you can come here, but you have to be ready for that, right? But what if you get hit already? Boom! Oh. A lot of people who do this, of course, is the press. You know, the press down here or whatever, right? Now, pressing down is probably the only thing you could do because there's that shock that you're gonna do, right? So the biggest thing is waylay them as much as you can. When he stepped down, some of the things that you gotta do. So once you can go slow. So here you get that boom. Oh, you just go down with him. You can go down with him, but go down in method, meaning don't fall down. Go on your knee. Next is your butt. Next is your back. But first go on your knee so you can still have that control. You can do whatever else that my brothers did. But remember, there's that methodology of falling back down. If you're gonna fall down, it's a step down. Next is a knee down. Next is the butt. Then lastly is your turtle back. You can continue, like, bam, down, and you can go down on your knee. Go down on your knee. Use him to bring yourself down. From there, you can do whatever you want. Right? So what I did was, instead of blowing my knee out, I used his motion and then just rode him down to my knee. Do not ride the person down to your butt, or do not pass these motions. Go in steps. Okay?
Yeah, I think that's same thing. Like if your style has forms, katas, whatever, you know, it's all about a practice of, like we said, knowing your body. And you do things because you want to do them, not because you're forced to do them. And like you're saying, is have those steps in between, and you whatever situation you need to get to. And so, but have that control. But take your forms, take everything to the next level, and understand what you're doing with them.
Right. Understand.
Because once you practice this, and when you start practicing at random, your forms are just gonna go exponentially bigger. It's much more you're gonna understand about your forms once you start practicing at random.
Right. You know?
Which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing. Right.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
All right.
That was
Very
fun. You know, you're not brushing your...
That's my golf game tremendous.
Oh, really? The last time I had golf, there was a stripper in every hole.